Welcome to Europe's best business class cabin. Today I'll be flying with Air France on their 777. To this day, I still remember my very first trip to Europe, and one of the things I picked up when I visited Paris was their pastry habits. That being said, let's check out what this premium airline has to offer. I'm currently in Charles de Gaulle Airport, so we're going to take a look at their lounge first. They have multiple lounges throughout the airport because it's so massive, but the one that I'm currently in is in Terminal 2. I'll be flying from Paris to Toronto, but initially this flight was supposed to be on the A350. However, then they changed it over to the Dreamliner, and then they changed it again to the 777. So there has been two plane changes for this flight, but the good news is that I was able to change my seat for free, and I was able to book the very front row with no extra cost to me. To be completely honest with Air France, I did find the lounge to be a bit disappointing. For the food options, although it's not bad, I wouldn't really call it great either. North America has really come far in terms of their lounge offerings, and in Europe, they're still stuck with the first class lounges and then lounges for everybody else. Meanwhile, in North America, they made it so that you have these business class or first class lounges, and then you have the lounges for everyone else. It is still a lot better than the Priority and Dragon Pass lounges, but I really do wish European airlines would offer a bit better service to those who are flying with business class fares. It is still a very nice lounge, and I certainly wouldn't mind being here again. It's just that missing portion of an elevated dining experience that other North American lounges have that is missing from most European airlines nowadays. But that being said, I think it's time to go board our flight, so let's go to our gate. I never once had this much space before in a business class cabin. This is by far the biggest I have ever seen. These extra space business class cabins at the front of the row has been popping up a lot recently across all airlines. It really shows you the level of innovation that these airlines are going through. And just the fact that I didn't have to fork over an extra $300 to $400 makes this experience even better. For a quick seat tour, we have the seat controls, the wireless charging, and in this compartment we have the headphones, a Avion water bottle, and we have the mirror, as well as the controls for the IFE. Although the day is a bit rainy and a bit gloomy, I am very happy that I am in this seat right now. While I'm changing into my slippers, let's just take another moment just to appreciate how much legroom that I have. Shortly after, the flight attendant came and offered me a drink. I went with the champagne, as well as an amenity kit. Taking a look at the menu, you have a wide variety of selections for your entrees, and from what I have heard, Charles de Gaulle Airport has one of the best catering in the world. Well, at least for their premium cabins anyways. For their drinks menu, I checked the prices. They're usually anywhere between $40 to $60 with the champagne being in the higher range of that, of course. The menu itself feels very premium, and I really wish I can keep it. If any of you guys have stolen a menu before, let me know how it went. One last shot of the seat in all its glory before we take off and do the safety video review.
Madame, monsieur, bonjour et bienvenue à bord.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen.
Ce film concerne votre sécurité. Merci de nous accorder votre attention.
For your safety and comfort, please take a moment to watch the following safety video.
Chaque fois que ce signal est allumé, nous vous prions d'attacher votre ceinture.
Whenever the seatbelt sign is on, please make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened.
Nous vous recommandons de la maintenir attachée de façon visible lorsque vous êtes assis à votre siège.
We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible at all times while sitting.
Détachez votre ceinture.
So right off the bat, I can tell that this was a safety video worth watching. They did a really good job of showing off their culture, what they're known for, and it's a very entertaining video in general. I really like how the French and English is done side by side, so depending on where you're going, you may only need to watch the safety video once, instead of possibly having to watch the safety video up to 3 times. Definitely one of the better safety videos that I have seen, A+. This is my first video recording with a brand new camera. I hope you guys really enjoy this time lapse of takeoff. Now we're up in the air, I'm going to take a closer look at their headphones. It doesn't look like of the best quality. It is connected to the IFE, which makes it a little bit more convenient to use, but I always bring my own pair of headphones. I bought my little Bluetooth connector there into the audio jack. However, with most modern IFEs, you don't need it anymore. You are able to connect directly to the IFE using Bluetooth. I am able to confirm that Air France does in fact have it. I just bring it along since it's just more convenient for me. So on the 777s, we have a little touchpad remote that we can use to control the screen. Since I'm sitting at the very front with the extra legroom, it is a little bit farther away, but that's not too much of a disadvantage compared to, you know, more legroom. On the newest A350s, however, I believe you get a touchpad to control the IFE. And for the options that you're able to see for their entertainment, I do see that they have a lot of new recent movies, a lot of TV shows. However, there's only really one that I wanted to watch, which was the newest John Wick at the time. And that was about it. So always bring your own entertainment, because even though the collection may be vast, it may not necessarily always be something that you want. Now for the meal service. Starting, we have our appetizer and snacks. This is a hazelnut veloute with some cheese crackers. Although I am saying crackers, I think it's entirely made up of cheese. For the drinks, I went with the classic champagne and sparkling water. The veloute tastes exactly what you expect from French cooking. It's just a really clean hazelnut sauce with some pears and some pecans. But this cheese snack is probably the most memorable part of my meal, even better than the entree. It's just this very savory, light, crispy, flaky cheese snack that I never really had before. It just takes all the right boxes and doesn't have the heaviness of other cheese snacks. So here we have the shredded lobster and the quinoa salad with carrot cream, as well as some ciabatta bread and a leafy green salad. The starters tasted exactly as you would expect them to. It was very clean, very fresh. And it was my first time having shredded lobster. So of course it tasted like lobster, but it also reminded me more of tuna or even pulled pork for that matter. It really gave an extra meaty texture that you don't really get with seafood. The quinoa salad is exactly what I expect a premium salad to taste like. You know, a salad that I would pay money for. And for the green salad, it tastes exactly what you would expect anti-nutrients and vegetable oils to taste like. And now for the main dish, which is the scallops with sunchoke puree. The scallops tasted really fresh, and the artichoke puree had a really nice nutty flavor to it. The catering so far has been excellent, and they have really exceeded my expectations. I really do hope to transit through Charles de Gaulle's again, and hopefully I'll get a La Premiere ticket, but who knows how long that will take. Here we have 3 French cheeses with different names, but in essence, a light blue cheese, a sharper, harder mozzarella, and I would assume a brie cheese. For the dessert menu, I decided to get a couple things. First is the dark chocolate ice cream. Now this chocolate ice cream was very dark. It was very intense in the cocoa flavor, and this is what I just love about French desserts. Developing the flavor in their desserts matters just as much, if not more, than just finding the right sweetness level. And typically with French desserts, they are not as sweet as American desserts. After my chocolate ice cream, I wanted to get some tea, and guys, no plastic tea bag. Oh my god. Air France is smashing it. They are killing it right now. Every single other airline, plastic tea bags. This one, no microplastics whatsoever. And of course, I'm not done with the dessert menu just yet. This is the hazelnut vanilla mousse cake. What I really like about mousse cake is that you get more of that creamy goodness instead of just getting what is essentially is sweetened bread. I hope you guys really enjoy this side angle of me munching on food. And then for the final dessert, I got the vanilla ice cream. I made sure to check for some vanilla seeds, and there were in fact some vanilla seeds, so I'm pretty sure they used real vanilla in their ice cream. Now for a quick look at the bathroom, it is a little bit larger than I would expect it to be. I guess I haven't been on many 777s. There's a total of 56 business class cabins, so if you also account for the crew, you have a ratio of roughly around 13 to 14 passengers per bathroom, and there's a total of 4 bathrooms in the business class cabins. Alright, it's time to press some more buttons on my seat. You can adjust the lighting with the first 2 buttons, and then the rest are all just seat controls. I will be turning this into a bed, and I'm gonna relax after my meal. And just some commentary on the service that I've received on this flight. Overall, it was fairly good. It was as expected. It wasn't anything outstanding or anything like that. For the second and third desserts, I did have to ask for it. You know, it would have been really nice if they just offered it to me. It's like, hey, you want another dessert? That would have been really nice. But overall, I did have to ask for it. And guys, there's nothing wrong with asking, right? They're here to take care of you, and just don't be afraid to ask. They did offer to refill my drink a few times. I took it once. Overall, I would rate the service around a 7 out of 10. So pretty good. Now for the main reason why anyone would book business class, the lie flat experience. Each pod does have a sliding door. You can use it to signal to the flight attendant that you do not want to be disturbed, or to prevent your nosy passenger from the other side to see what you are doing. Although the legroom area is very wide, you are still limited by the amount of space you have for your upper body on the seat portion. So you are able to move your legs a little bit more freely, but your upper body will still have to remain in place as it is. Now, to me, if they just made the seat a little bit wider and added some more expensive drinks and caviar service, this can totally pass for first class. For me, this has been the best business class product that I have tried so far, and I think Air France has the best business class in all of Europe. I am definitely really excited to try out more airlines. I think Qatar is a big one that I still haven't tried just yet. But for now, I also want to show you guys the standard business class cabin to see how the 2 legroom compare. So this is the legroom difference in this standard cabin. You can see just how much smaller it is compared to the front. There is enough depth in the legroom, so if you wanted to sleep on your side, you can stack your feet on top of each other and you can sleep perfectly fine. I think on average, in order to sit with the extra space at the front of the rows, you need to pay an extra 400 to 500 euros. So let me know if you guys think it's worth it. I got this amazing shot of the engine, the clouds, and the sun. Whenever I book a seat, I always try to book away from the sun, but for making a video, you can't get a better view than this. Later on, the flight attendant came around and gave me some snacks. Of course, you can always get them yourself at the very front of the plane. I have some shortbread cookies as well as a very dark chocolate bar. It is almost time for the pre-arrival meal, so I asked the flight attendant to get me a cappuccino, and they also brought me oat milk with it. I did try asking for coconut or almond milk, but oat milk was all they had for a milk alternative. And I know that this isn't a health advice channel, but the moment I stopped drinking milk, my acne cleared up so fast. And when I do occasionally still get it, it was because I consumed milk or maybe a softer cheese somewhere here and there. And you can fix it by bringing lactase pills, which I do bring with me frequently, because I still really do enjoy eating dairy products. For the pre-arrival meal, they served me shrimp with some black rice, vegetables in a tangy cream sauce. For the tea, I decided to go for some green tea. And then for dessert, they gave me a fruit bowl. I think overall it tasted fairly good, and the reason why I say I think is because I'm not a big fan of frozen shrimp. I don't like what freezing does to the texture and taste of the shrimp. I am a huge fan of fresh shrimp, but that is a lot more expensive, so I don't eat it as often. And with that, concludes the video. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments below. I read every single one of them. It's greatly appreciated. Subscribe. It helps me a lot. I really want to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, as well as I have an Instagram now. I never had Instagram for a very long time, which was a huge mistake. I could have definitely added a lot more people on my travels and had a little bit more friends later in life. But if you guys do add me on Instagram, I'll try my best to reciprocate and then add you back as well. I will also be setting up a Discord soon. I love to engage with my community a little bit more and talk about travel and all the tips and tricks that I know. But in the meantime, feel free to ask me any questions just in the YouTube section. I'll be happy to answer them when I have the time for it. Thank you to all of those who stuck around to the end. I really do look forward to making the next video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.